Hey there, I have a special announcement. From May 22nd through May 28th, I'm rerunning my most popular episodes of your weekly dose of higher consciousness, all of which are what I call foundational basics. And I understand that we need to hear what I speak about more than a few times until it really starts to sink in. And be forewarned, these are from almost 5 years ago when I first began. So I may sound a bit different than I do now. I know I feel a lot different than I did back then. So I hope you enjoy these. And then next week, you're going to find out all about something new I'm cooking up here in Colorado, just outside of Aspen. How's that for a little name dropping? In the meantime, this is your last chance to enroll in Eckhart Tolle's all-new 4-month-long immersive program for his very popular online course, The Spiritual Guide to Conscious Manifestation, where you're going to discover your true creative powers and fulfill your highest purpose. It begins with a 4-day online retreat, May 30th through June 2nd, and you can still access his free mini video series or enroll in his program at the mindbodyspiritnetwork.com/Eckhart Tolle, all one word, or click on the links below in the podcast. Now on for today's episode. Hey there, I'm announcing some weekly bonus content for you. Because so many listeners love the 1001 Ways episode, and because I can make them short, sweet, and to the point, I will create one a week for you that will come out on Thursdays. So every Thursday is a little bonus that shouldn't take up too much of your time. So the topic is 1001 Ways to Being of Higher Consciousness. And because there's a flip side to everything, I'm going to alternate these weeks, these Thursdays, with a 1001 Ways to Being to Let Go of. And because they are not of higher consciousness. So we're going to look at both sides of the coin, like what do you want to focus on and what do you want to let go of? And notice that I said let go of. I don't want to should you about not having lower consciousness and emotions running, because it's part of life and who you are. And I don't want you to develop some belief that having lower emotions is wrong. It just doesn't serve you to hold on to them. And, I'm going to remind you during these Thursday ones, like, you got to just let go of them, but still allow yourself to express when the need comes up. And if I've learned nothing else from my own experience with transcending lower emotions, to the mechanism of letting go, to the emotion code that we just learned about a couple weeks ago, and all forms of emotional release, I've learned that expressing how you feel is essential. And it's just a matter of understanding how to manage your emotions. And even Dr. Hawkins, who calibrated at enlightened levels of consciousness all the way up to 1,000 on the map of consciousness. This is sainthood, mystic level stuff. Genuinely expressed how I felt when the occasions arose. And apparently Dr. Hawkins' wife wrote a book about this, and Consciousness Calibrations, Brian at Consciousness Calibrations brought it up to say, hey, his wife said even Dr. Hawkins got mad, and yet you gotta get mad and you gotta express yourself. And he'll even do it in his videos. He's like, sometimes I just want to be grumbly and stomp my feet and act like a kid. be a brat. So there's still those occasions when it's going to come up and you need to express how you feel. And you don't want to suppress and repress how you feel anymore. But it takes practice. It does, because you may be so used to it that you can't tell the difference. So I've noticed, and this came up recently, that when I get triggered, I express how I feel, no holds barred, to some extent. And then there's occasions when I should have expressed myself and I didn't. Both of these situations came up with me this week. And when I should have expressed myself, I ended up spinning it around in my head later and gyrating about what I should have expressed in the moment, and I didn't. So anyway, well, I'll give these little reminders when I'm sharing these 1001 ways, especially the ways to let go. So that's the scoop on this new Thursday bonus content. But before I get into today's 1001 ways, my name is Liz Garcia. I'm your happy host at your weekly dose of higher consciousness. And my intention with these 1001 ways is to introduce you to higher ways of being so you can align yourself and your energy fields with higher consciousness. And all you need is one higher consciousness way. And according to Dr. David R. Hawkins and consciousness research, just one higher consciousness way of being, when applied diligently and consistently, is powerful enough to shift your entire life's trajectory. And Dr. Hawkins' go-to is be kind to everybody. And that's not for everybody to be kind to everybody, but it takes practice. So that's why I'm introducing you to other ways of being that might resonate and be easier for you than being kind to everybody. So let's get started with today's 101 ways to being of higher consciousness. And today it's more of a statement that you can use as an affirmation or reminder. And the statement is, I am perfect the way I am. And if you cringe at that, you might want to stop doing that and let go of that cringing and allow the statement to kind of sink in, because it calibrates at 400 on the logarithmic scale of human consciousness. This is according to consciousnesscalibrations.com. And again, the scale of human consciousness is 1 to 1,000, where 200 is the gateway to higher consciousness or the level of courage, and 600 and above are the levels of enlightenment. And this impersonal energy field of 400, or 10 to the 400th power, is at the level of the mind. The 400s is the mind, and it's vast. Between 400 and 499, there are quantum leaps in power. Each point, because it's a log, is huge. So the energy of 400 is huge, and to accept that you are perfect the way you are because it's true at a high level is something you just want to consider. And I got to tell you, that when I started to study consciousness, and I started to read about other enlightened beings, their experience with it, because I have experienced, high level, enlightened level stuff in the 600s and 700s. What they all consistently said is that their perception of the world was everything was perfect. That's how when you start to get into enlightened states, you perceive accurately the perfection in the world. So it's good to know. When I understood, I understand that people in the 600s are speaking the truth, and their perceptions are much closer to ultimate reality than not. Then I kind of surrendered to that understanding and was willing to accept that I am perfect, even though I don't accept it all the time. I like to go back to it and kind of accept that that's true about others as well. So it's something you just want to know. And another thing I wanted to mention is that when you remember that it's true about all of us, not just one person in particular, it's true about you and everybody else. And remember that everyone is doing the best that they can in every moment. This is another one that's a statement. This statement, everyone is doing the best that they can, calibrates at 500 on the scale of consciousness, which is the energy field of love. So this is a quantum leap above I am perfect the way I am. To accept that everyone is doing the best that they can is a very loving energy field. and useful to put in your little back pocket. Great to use on occasions when you just need relief from negativity and the egoic bind of resistance, right? So during these 1001 ways, I want to share other things in this energy field. So you start to get that we're talking about the measurement of energy, right? It doesn't matter what it is, it's just energy. So other things that calibrate in the energy of 400 is also laughter, is the energy of 400. And St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is the same energy. Just good to know. Like, there's very different topics, very different things, but they hold the same energy. Let's see what else I wanted to include here. So I just want you to remember that consciousness calibrations are not opinions or judgments. They are measurements of energy. That's it. And all of these things are impersonal attractor fields. There's no judgment as to what they are. We're just saying, here's the energy. And a higher calibration does not make them better. They're just different, which takes time to accept that. And I still do that. But in any event, I'm going to remind you of this stuff on Thursday so that you're really going to start getting this and starting to look at energy differently and the way people behave differently. They're in an attractor field. They're attracting to themselves, and they're going to behave in a particular way, or you will as well. Okay, so both of these, I am perfect the way I am, and everybody's doing the best that they can, are good ones to put in your pocket for when you need it, right? Know that these are high energy statements, affirmations, and reminders that can offset negativity within you at any moment, because it's a powerful field. So draw it to you, especially if you're like sitting in an office meeting and someone's bugging the bleep out of you. Just remember, they're doing the best that they can in every moment, and so are you. Now, before I let you go, I have another fun little bonus for you. If you'd like to discover your self-care superpowers and uncover your personalized path to self-healing, I created a short, fun little quiz you can take. And by taking this quiz, you can discover the self-healing practices that resonate with you and start your journey towards better health. Now, this is not rocket science, and it's not to be taken as medical advice, but you'll find some insightful information, tools, and resources to guide you on your way, specific to the type of self-healing that resonates most with you today. And you can take this quiz by clicking on the link below, or you can go to the mindbodyspiritnetwork.com/self-care quiz. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you again next week. Hey there, Lovey Lou. If you are new to your weekly dose of Higher Consciousness podcast or an avid listener, I have something just for you. I created a landing page with all of my playlists in one place. So for new listeners, I created a playlist called Foundational Basics. This is where you will want to begin to come up to speed on your understanding of the map of consciousness, a proven energy scale for realizing your ultimate potential by Dr. David R. Hawkins, and with where we are now. For avid listeners, I've created playlists for all of my popular topics like 1001 Ways to Be of Higher Consciousness, 1001 Ways to Let Go of. Those great higher consciousness quizzes that helps you test your intuition and develop discernment skills, tools for transformation, high vibe book recommendations, and my general main topics. You can find all of these playlists on the website at themindbodyspiritnetwork.com/podcast. or you can find it in a link below in the show notes. Now back to today's episode.